The opposite state to mind wandering is the state that we're going to try to cultivate through this practice today. It's a state that psychologists call meta-awareness. And I know that sounds like a crazy technical term, but the basic idea is that when we are meta-aware of our experience, it's as though we become aware of awareness itself. So we become aware of the thoughts that are happening, we become aware of the sensations that are happening in our body, and it turns out that awareness is sort of like the essential first step in opening the mind. Because once we become aware of what's happening, we now have the freedom to choose where we want to direct our attention, to choose what kinds of actions we want to engage in the world. So today, we're going to be practicing, cultivating this quality of meta-awareness. And we're going to start by finding a comfortable seat. So wherever you are, you can just sit with a straight spine comfortably. And this is a practice that you can do with your eyes closed, but I'm actually going to recommend that for the next 4 sessions, we do eyes open. And if that's uncomfortable, feel free to close your eyes, or you can use a soft gaze. But just notice now the weight of your body against the chair, how the chair supports you. Notice the sensations of your feet on the ground, on the earth. Feeling how the earth supports you. And if you'd like, you can turn your chair, wherever you happen to be sitting, toward some sort of an interesting, perhaps beautiful view to fill the visual field. And now let's bring our attention to the breath. Just see if you can follow the sensations of breath. I like to do this at the nose, the tip of the nose. And as we warm up here, the big idea is to let go of any attempt to control or shape the breath. You're letting the breath be as it is. Instead of trying to change the breath, you're just investigating it. Feeling its subtle textures, the vibrations. Noticing its temperature. The beautiful thing about our breath is that, unlike the wandering mind, it's always here. It's always happening now. So we're going to use the breath today as our anchor to this experience of meta-awareness. Continuing to follow the sensations of each breath. And now, as you focus on the breath, notice that there's another part of your attention and awareness that's able to also notice when your mind wanders away from the breath, which it inevitably will. That's meta-awareness. So we're following the sensations of breath, but we're also getting really curious about those moments when the mind just kind of unconsciously slips away. That's the really interesting moment. So you're following the sensation of breath, but then you're noticing when your mind starts to wander away. And when that happens, the key is just to see it in real time, to notice. Then you can shift, bring your attention back to that sensation of breath. And instead of thinking of the wandering mind as some sort of meditative failure today, let's think of these moments as the big opportunity. So following sensation of each breath, but then looking out for these opportunities. When we find that the mind wanders, we also want to approach that moment with a gentle, playful attitude. This isn't a problem, it's an opportunity. And now, just for fun, see what happens when you let go of that concentrated effort to bring your attention to the sensations of each breath. And allow your mind to wander if it wants to. So instead of constraining and focusing the mind, we're just allowing it to go wherever it wishes. A full mind vacation. Notice how this is different. And now, so we can experience the contrast, come back to the sensation of breath. So now again, we're focusing on the sensations of each breath at the tip of the nose. And looking out for those moments where we return to that state of mind wandering, where attention slips away. Remembering to see these moments as opportunities. Letting go of any control we might want to exert over the breath. Now let's spend just one more minute experiencing the sensations of each inhale and exhale, noticing when the mind wanders, using our awareness of awareness itself to bring ourselves back. And now, just before you bring yourself back from this practice, take a quick scan through your mind and body and just notice anything that's different. One thing to pay particularly close attention to is the sense of space in your mind. Is there more space? Just notice that. Is your body different in any way? Does it feel different? Are the sensations different? The quality of mind, the pace of thoughts, is that different? We're just noticing that. Not good or bad, just noticing what happens when we spend this time. Okay. So now you can fully bring yourself back to this video now that you're done with the practice. And what I would recommend is that you see throughout the rest of your day if you can bring this quality of meta-awareness, awareness of what is happening in your mind and in the present moment with you throughout the rest of the day. And that sounds like an incredibly abstract task. So one thing that can be really useful here is to think about cues or reminders that you could use to help you build this practice into your day in a more informal way. So for example, one of the things we do all day, every day throughout the day is touch our phone. You might think about what would it be like to just for a moment, for a second or two, experience this state of meta-awareness, just becoming curious, noticing what's happening in the mind itself each time you touch your phone. Or maybe you could do it around meals, or things like brushing your teeth, or leaving the house, or driving in the car when you sit down in the seat. There are all sorts of these cues, and the basic idea is that we can stack the informal practice of this cultivation of meta-awareness on top of these cues. And so the basic idea is that when we see a cue like that, that triggers our attention, we just want to take that moment to notice. That's the key to meta-awareness. We want to notice what's happening. So good luck with that practice. I hope you enjoyed the more formal practice, and I'll see you again soon.